Welcome back to This Week. Time now to get the views of our media and political experts, Nashville State Democratic Senator Thelma Harper and syndicated talk show host Steve Gill. Welcome. What is everybody doing today? We had a nice discussion about health care reform before we got rolling here.
I've already fired him up.
Let's get right into it. The president says it's time to vote. The vote still hasn't happened. Is it time to vote on something, either up, down, or pass something?
You know, I'm going to defer to him because he's so fired up. He accused me of calling him something that I didn't. But he wouldn't be satisfied if they voted for it now. I think they should go ahead and make a decision. They've been sitting on the pot long enough. They need to show what they're going to do. It's time.
People, up or down, make the vote.
They need to make the vote because, I mean, how long can you drag on? And those who are stalling, they need to decide why are they there? Who are they there for?
Well, I would agree with Thelma. I mean,
there we go.
I told you I had fired him up.
They should have been voting the whole year. The Democrats had a 60-vote supermajority in the Senate. They could have already passed this. They have a vast majority vote in the House. The thing still holding up this Obamacare vote, it's not the Republicans. Nancy Pelosi could bring it up for a vote today.
He hates Nancy Pelosi because she's a blonde.
I'm not sure she's blonde. What day
well,
we're talking
whatever.
about.
Miss Clairol has fixed it up
But the
for
bottom
you.
line is the Democrats are holding this up. The Democrats have enough votes to pass it if the Democrats will vote for it. Fortunately, they're listening to the American people, and they're not going to vote for it without more purchases, bribery, or blackmail.
Well, you know, I've never seen anybody hate Democrats as much as he does, and to hate Miss Pelosi, she's an outstanding woman, and to hate Harry Reid, and I've just asked him if he had somebody driving that tractor-trailer truck that ran over.
Talk a little bit
Harry
about the
Reid's
disconnect.
people.
You talked about this thing going on forever. The American people obviously are tired of it. They want people to move
they
on, vote up and down. Let's talk about jobs and getting people back to work.
There's always a group that's for whatever you do. And there's always a group that's against, and then there's always Steve Gill, who's going to accuse the Democrats of being responsible for everything that goes wrong.
Well, since the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the White House, Thelma, don't you think that's reasonable?
No, well, but you have...
You control all the assets of government.
But you have Republicans who raise their hand to say that they would work for the people just like Democrats did. So they have a responsibility to both groups.
But you don't need a single Republican vote. They can pass it without a single Republican vote.
You do need a Republican vote because when you're sick, it doesn't look at you, an illness doesn't say, well, I'm a Republican. That's a Republican, so they're not going to get it. Now, this is a Democrat. They are.
Do you think this is an urgent need, Thelma?
When that health bill passes,
do you think this is
urgent? Fails,
do you think it's urgent that it should happen right now?
It's going to impact Democrats and Republicans. And those people who are there should recognize that they represent people who don't believe in anything. And they need to do their job. That's why they were sent there.
Dick Durbin says 70 people a day are dying during the delay. But they're not even going to implement the provisions of Obamacare till 2014. So apparently the Democrats don't have a problem with people dying for the next 4 years. They just want to talk about doing it quick.
That's about the low. That is.
Do you think they ought to do it today?
That is low as you can go to accuse him of dying. You know, the Bible tells you you're born and you're going to die.
He said it in the Senate today.
It doesn't matter who dies.
He said it in the Senate,
You're going
to
die. You know, you could die tomorrow.
Thelma, that doesn't have anything to do with it. Are you listening to what I said?
Yes, I do listen to what you
said. He said 70 people are dying a day, so we need to do it right now, but the policy doesn't go into place for 4 years.
But hasn't the debate gone on and on? It continues to go in circles.
Just like he's riling against Miss what's her name, Pelosi. No, you've been riling against Pelosi and Reid, and you know it's a shame to have that kind of distaste. But the bottom line is, people do not have coverage, and it appears that the people who do have coverage seem perfectly pleased. They have it, so it doesn't matter. Those people are going to die anyway.
Well, the president wants folks to vote. We'll see if we can get a vote maybe this week and decide one way or the other.
The bottom line is
that
Dick
Durbin himself, the Senate leader from Illinois, says that the bottom line with this plan is premiums will go up, and anybody who tells you they won't is not telling you the truth.
But now, Steve, you are uplifting Durbin this week. Next week he'll be a demon because he'll say something contrary.
Well, you've got to either
what
take what these guys say, Thelma, or ignore it. Which is it? Are you for what Durbin says, or are you for what President Obama says?
I didn't hear what Durbin said.
Well, then you got to pay attention.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't put a lot of credence in folk who can tell you things that's going to happen anyway. What I look at is, do they recognize that people need coverage? And they have worked on this long enough. They need to either vote it up or down and move on to something else.
And that's what Washington's going to try to do, hopefully, this week. Back here in Tennessee, a proposal for state lawmakers to tax the food that hotels and motels get for continental breakfasts. It raises some money, not a lot of money, but is this too much on the tourists that are coming to Tennessee? They already have a big hotel motel tax on them.
I think they should leave it as it is, and I know I'll be accused of not wanting the state to raise money, but I think there's I just
point of no return, bad return.
Well, I think you can tax most anything, and that goes to that tax and that ham sandwich. But I think with the hotel motel industry, with the hospitality industry, I think it's a service that they offer, and I think it raises their census.
There's something particularly crazy about saying we're going to tax a free breakfast. And again, as I think the piece pointed out, it's only going to raise about $2 million. Right. I think there are other ways to cut spending at the state level. And frankly, we've just put tens of millions of dollars behind the Tinvesco program to let venture capitalists get paid 2 or 3 times the normal percentage that a venture capitalist gets. And that's tens of millions of dollars that would produce a lot more than the $2 million we're talking about.
There's even more than that. I could say that $2 million would help our little girls out at New Vision, but I won't do that. There are some other places that we have looked to save money, but we're not callous in trying to look at where we can cut expenses, where we can raise revenue so that we can fund government. But I really think that we're picking on the wrong group.
Senator Thelma Harper, Steve Gill, appreciate your insight. Stay with us. This week continues in a moment.